Before I go, a word of advice. We stand upon the precipice of change. The world fears the inevitable plummet into the abyss. Watch for that moment, and when it comes, do not hesitate to leap. It is only when you fall that you learn whether you can fly.
Hey guys, Sylvain here. So, this quote from Flemeth/Mythal seems to me to come from a short story by Edgar Allan Poe, The Imp of the Perverse. To quote a significant piece of this work, "We stand upon the brink of a precipice. We peer into the abyss. We grow sick and dizzy. Our first impulse is to shrink away from the danger. Unaccountably, we remain. It is but a thought, although a fearful one, and one which chills the very marrow of our bones with the fierceness of the delight of its horror. It is merely the idea of what would be our sensations during the sweeping precipitancy of a fall from such a height. For this very cause do we now the most vividly desire it." Now, they're pretty damn close, don't you think? It could be coincidence, but it just seems far too hard of a coincidence when you actually get down to the analysis of it. The story The Imp of the Perverse is basically about the narrator being this man who killed someone. He got away with it and benefited greatly from the victim's death. However, as time went by, he became overwhelmed with the desire to confess his crime. And he does, eventually, and is punished. But he doesn't confess because he feels guilt or remorse or shame. He's just possessed with this irrational desire to admit what he did, even though he knows it will only bring about his downfall. This desire is symbolised by this other, an imp, the Imp of the Perverse, hence the title. Essentially, it's about mindless self-destruction and trying to pinpoint a source for intrusive thoughts and irrational action, typically negative. Looking at Flemeth's speech to Hawke in Dragon Age 2, it does kind of recontextualise that scene. I know that myself and a lot of other people leave Hawke in the Fade during Inquisition's Here Lies the Abyss quest. From what I gather, this is often prompted by what Flemeth said. Into the abyss, do not hesitate to leap, etc. Because at least I assumed she meant Hawke somehow might survive, since she's prompting him to do this. It just always felt like those two things were connected. Flemeth spoke to him, taking a leap of faith into the abyss. But with the context of Poe's short story, I think it's more so she's the imp here encouraging this tragic hero figure, and us players, into doing something obviously self-destructive, purely because we were given the notion to do it. Because we want to know what will happen. And what happens when you send someone off to die? They fucking die. What did you expect? In all seriousness though, the more I look into Flemeth Mythal, the more she scares the crap out of me. Like, I'm convinced Mythal, Fenhorel, etc. are all just tempting us to do stupid things just to see if we actually do it. She's not helping us. They're not helping us. They're literally there to be the devil on your shoulder, so to speak. They're pushing their own agendas, and you're just there for the ride. I just don't trust Flemeth, and I am more hesitant to leaving Hawke in the Fade and Here Lies the Abyss, because it's just been recontextualized to the point where it's not supposed to be about Hawke surviving. Consider that Flemeth is also Mythal. You need to consider that, yeah, of course she's gonna survive doing the crazy, because she has. She died and then kind of came back. Hawke is just a person. He's just some random guy that happened to be the epicenter of all this really messed up stuff. So when she tells him, yeah, just don't hesitate, do it, jump, I don't trust her, because it's been recontextualized by Poe's short story. Flemeth in this instance is the imp. She's the one telling you to do the thing that's not in your best interest. Like, it's not going to affect her in any way, it'll affect you. Just with the insight into Flemeth as a character, I just feel like it's not meant to be a hint that Hawke's gonna survive. I think it's just the final nail in the coffin for a tragic hero like Hawke. Anyway, that's just some food for thought. That's all I've got for now. I highly recommend Poe's works. They're messed up, they're great, it's all good. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.
Regret is something I know well. Take care not to cling to it, to hold it so close that it poisons your soul. When the time comes for your regrets, remember me. Now the time has come for me to leave. You have my thanks and my sympathy.